In section 5 of your RAMSR resource folder, you'll find this sheet here which goes through each of the RAMSR target skills, talks about what their definitions are and why they are important to focus on and why we do so in RAMSR. So you'll recall from stage 2 of the course that we talked in depth about self-regulation and also the 3 executive functions of working memory, inhibition, shifting and flexibility. And you'll find those here. So this sheet is a really good definition when you're trying, definition place when you're trying to recall what these things are, the 3 executive functions, to flip to this sheet here. We also talked about attentional regulation, and you'll find that here. And that's, the ability to know where to put your attention and for how long, and also how long we persist in tasks, even if they become difficult or there are distractions around. And we focus on that because it's a very important skill to have and to grow in early childhood. We also talked about emotional regulation earlier in the course, and in RAMSR, in terms of a target skill, we talk about embodied emotional regulation. And this is because at the end of every session, in the calming section of the session, we give children the opportunity to have the physical experience of calming their breath rate, their body and their motor skills, and calming their mind. And we also, when we get to plan 4 of RAMSR, you will see that the team have composed a wonderful song called My Feelings Move and recorded this. And this gives children an opportunity to experience some different language around emotions and to move through a full range of emotions, literally moving to the emotions in the song before calming again. As well as those target skills that we've already talked about, there are a few others and that we will go into more depth a little bit later in the course. One is beat synchronization. This is really at the core of what RAMSR does. And what beat synchronization refers to is the ability to tap along rhythmically to a given beat roughly in time, or to move our bodies in time to music. Some research also calls it sensory motor synchronization. Now, why we care about this is because we know that children with better beat synchronization skills across early childhood tend to find it a little bit easier to learn and to move more in a more coordinated way. And this is probably something to do with the way that the brain is organizing itself and learning connections between the auditory or the hearing systems and the motor systems. And all of these systems are also involved in self-regulation. So we'll talk a little bit more later in the course about beat synchronization, but it is important to know, of course, that children don't always move in time, and we also can't force them to, move in time or to find the beat or tap the beat. But we can provide them with the opportunities of that experience, and that's what RAMSR does. So every piece of music in RAMSR has a very steady beat, and we're looking to see which children can cue in on that and provide that opportunity. And of course, through doing that, we are offering opportunities for coordinated movement, and not just any movement, but complex motor movement. So you'll see across RAMSR, some of the movements get quite tricky in their patterning, both for young people and adults. But we know that coordinated movement, more and more research is coming out about the way that that influences all other areas of development and self-regulation. Now, if you look down the bottom here, a couple of the key aspects and ways that we do this and bring together beat synchronization and movement in RAMSR are these 2 concepts here, entrainment and rhythmic auditory cueing. So entrainment refers to the way that the human body will match its functions, its movements, its speed and its tempo to a beat that it hears. And we use rhythmic auditory cueing, which is providing that steady beat, providing the tracks that support the coordinated movement for young children and the timely movement. And finally, you will find your heart rate going up, we hope, in a couple of RAMSR activities each session. And that's because we know that bringing that heart rate up and doing some aerobic exercise seems to be able to support better development overall, but also particularly self-regulation that we are interested in.